They did it.
The library is
has
thorough.
bad meats.
This library is legit.
Alison Brie, Dave Franco, thanks so much for joining us at the Margaret Herrick Library to check out the Academy Collection, where we're here to talk about some of the films that shaped and inspired your own point of view, as well as talk about a new film that you guys have coming out together. You guys have been married since 2017. You've worked on other projects together in the past, but this is the first time you're really leading a film as a couple. Was there anything about the script or this story that made it the perfect vehicle? Like, what made this one the one?
Everything about the script. The fact that there was a meta quality to the fact that we've been together for so long and these characters and people know that we're married and they would watch the movie knowing that there's that history there. It fuels the story in a positive way, I think.
And then horror's having this incredible renaissance. It's the fastest growing genre. Do you have any sort of working theory as to why audiences are being driven to that kind of like sophisticated horror moment that Hollywood is having right now?
As a filmmaker who makes horror projects, I think it's maybe the one genre where audiences expect you to get weird and to take crazy risks, and the stakes are never higher.
In a horror movie, you go, here are the rules, here's what we decided. And I feel like the audience is prepared to buy into that and have fun with it. Definitely feel like people should watch together.
Well, on the topic, I want to switch gears. What we have here is a show and tell component to it all. So you guys gave us the movies that inspired you and shaped you and gave you a new point of view as artists. So we're going to start bringing them out and we'll kind of alternate.
Great.
All right. So, and Dave, we're going to start with you in Psycho.
Oh, wow.
Wow.
So these are storyboards of the shower sequence designed by title designer Saul Bass.
Incredible. I feel like he stuck to these boards very closely. The first 45 minutes of this film are essentially a heist film, and then all of a sudden this scene happens where our lead character gets brutally murdered.
Spoiler alert. Oh my, wait, what?
And you take a hard right and it becomes this horror film from an entirely new character's perspective. My film, The Rental, we definitely kind of took some of that. The first chunk of my film, it can almost be described as like a relationship drama. And then I kind of pull the rug out and introduce this new character, and it does become more of a slasher.
All right, up next we have more Psycho stuff.
Oh, cool.
Great.
For you guys.
You guys are just letting us touch these?
I know.
Here's Alfred Hitchcock's and Janet Leigh's scripts.
Wow.
Whoa.
This feels like something too delicate for me to sift through right now.
I know, even
but
reading this.
And then we have marketing material from the core collection.
First billing, Anthony Perkins. Janet Leigh gets the and. This
So that should have been
given away. It gave away the whole thing right there on the poster.
That feels like something we're more in tune to now than maybe audiences were then. Our eagle eye these days is like, and credit. Is she gonna, you know?
Allison, I think it's your turn.
Yeah.
So
Whoa,
we'll clear this
where do we
off.
go from here?
3 minutes.
We have the 1979 film Alien. Here's an art department lookbook from producer Walter Hill's papers, including a blueprint for the Nostromo spaceship.
Oh, cool.
Whoa.
And then I love this picture too.
That's so great. Well, this is a great artifact because what I love about Alien and have always loved is the production design and the practical effects. Even when we went into shooting together with Michael Shanks, a big part of the conversation was how much of the effects are going to be practical. I think we all bonded over our love of practical effects. For my money, you go back and watch this movie, it holds up. I genuinely think it looks better and more believable 90% of the time. Of course, there's that one shot always where the alien just goes, ha! And you're kind of like, there's a guy in gloves. I like tactile things. As actors, it's fun to be on a set with things that you can actually touch and feel and work into the scene and react to.
Very cool.
Very cool.
All right, Dave.
Okay.
We're back to you.
I have an appointment. I really can't miss it.
At the dentist?
Kind of.
Harold and Maude from 1971. This is a pre-production letter from Hal Ashby to Robert Evans, if you'll read the last paragraph.
One last thought. One of my primary concerns at this stage is to allow myself the freedom to get on with the more creative aspects of making this film and not be bothered with such items as taking a whole night to write this letter. Believe me, when Chuck takes over as producer, a great load will be gone from my shoulders. Much peace and love, Hal Ashby. You know, I think about when we were making Disaster Artist. I think a lot of people thought we were going to turn that film into like a broad, silly comedy, but we were kind of using Hal Ashby as our guiding light. My favorite movies, the ones that I write, are about just messy relationships. And with this movie, you know, it's about a suicide-obsessed 20-year-old kid who develops a romantic relationship with an 80-year-old eccentric. On the page, I'm sure that seems like a very difficult thing to pull off, but not only did he pull it off, he did it in a way that's just so touching and kind of life-affirming and nuanced.
I love it too. Well, while you were saying, I was thinking that when I was a teenager, this movie was like the litmus test for if someone could like be my friend and was cool. You know what I mean? Have you seen Harold and Maude?
Scared of what? Where's the self-help section?
All right, Alison, back to you. Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless Mind. Here we have screenwriter Charlie Kaufman's third draft script for the Miramax production records, as well as story days in chronological order.
Well, look, this movie was just mind-blowing to me when it came out. The way you watch it unfold, and you can watch it again and again, you're so invested in the characters, in the story that's being told. Also, you're time traveling, it's beautiful. It just felt magical. I feel like it expanded my idea of what could be done in a film and the way you could play with time and space.
Also, did it invent the trend that ended up happening after for every indie movie where the movie ends with, so what do we do now?
Let me tell you this, the older you do get, the more rules are gonna try to get you to follow. You just gotta keep living, man. L-I-V-I-N.
Dazed and Confused.
Okay. Yeah.
Here's unit publicist Joan Eisenberg's shooting script. We also have marketing materials and contact sheets from the core collection.
I feel like you could spend hours in here.
Linklater, also one of my favorites. He's always experimenting, trying something new, whether it's taken 12 years to make Boyhood or making a trilogy about two people walking and talking and philosophizing about life and somehow making that so gripping. That is a feat. With this movie, I think there's something to be said about like a movie that I think is now called like a hangout movie. There's something almost experimental about that where there's not a propulsive plot. It's like he puts you in this time and place, the 70s in this small Texas town. No matter where you're from, when you grew up, there's just something you can connect to or a character you can latch onto.
See it with a bud.
So I talked about how we're going to be switching gears, and Alison, you're the one switching gears for us, because up next we have Silence of the Lambs.
Yes.
I ate his liver with some fava beans and a nice Chianti.
We have storyboards from production designer Kalina Ivanov's papers, who worked as a storyboard artist for the film.
Oh, wow. I love how this storybook artist singed the edges,
Right,
like when I
just
was
for
in high
vibe,
school.
just for vibe, yeah.
Wrote a paper that was like, it's from old-timey
No, but
times.
that's a good observation, because that was, you can tell that it's like coffee or tea dibs.
Yes, just for vibe.
Just for vibe,
It's not
just for
affecting
vibe.
how you see,
On attention to detail, on
Yeah.
beat with attention to detail.
I mean, again, my way in would have been through this incredible female performance, which, like, contrary to the Kate Winslet in Eternal Sunshine, you know, is like a really quiet, reserved performance and an amazing example of like a woman holding power in a film without pushing and yelling and trying to be a man, like a woman in a man's world. I love that the film is also tackling that as a subject matter, this woman who finds herself in all of these rooms with men. I was paying attention to the way that a shot was designed, the push-ins, the eye line. For me, as like a young person, that was exciting to kind of notice composition for the first time and how beautiful and thoughtful it was.
You can go to places in the world with pudding. That is funny. Yeah. That's funny.
Dave, we got one more for you.
Okay.
Punch Drunk Love. We have a design for Adam Sandler from the collection of costume designer Mark Bridges.
The suit is so blue. It's so great.
Also as a piece of artwork, just to show the costume design, this is beautiful. Yeah. How much for this?
Sandler's performance, like up until this point, he was the comedy god. PTA kind of took what everyone knew and loved about him, the fact that he was like this kind of very sweet, vulnerable guy who could turn on a dime and become really angry and aggressive. So he took that, but he like packaged it in a different way, and like within the tone of Punch Drunk Love, that just brought out this different side of Sandler. When I was first starting out, I think a lot of people knew me from the comedies that I did, whether it was 21 Jump Street or Neighbors, which I think is still the only reason she's with me. Those are two of her favorite movies.
I do love them.
But I love all genres, and I really want to kind of dip my toe in wherever I can. And like even this year with Together, you know, it's just nice to kind of mix things up.
Oh, you want to play psycho killer? Can I be the helpless victim?
All right, and finally, Alison, the 1996 film Scream. From the Miramax production records, we have daily call sheets with a quote of the day.
The quote on this one is, "You can never be too bloody or too thin." Wes Craven, the master himself. I just think it's the most accessible horror movie. The characters are great. The comedy is on point. It's arguably the most effective horror comedy that nails both sides of that genre. It's Wes Craven almost spoofing Wes Craven, but not quite. Do you know what I mean? Just like embracing the meta quality of that.
Also, you found your way into the franchise.
Well, I was about to transition into that.
Okay.
Yes, I did get to work on Scream 4.
Was the first time you ever saw me at the Scream 4 audition?
Yeah, I think we saw each other across the room at the Scream 4 audition, and you know, only one of us got the job.
That's true.
We could have met on that movie, but I think I saw you there.
You know you saw me though.
Well, I'm happy that we could bring it all full circle here today. Thank you guys so much for the education. And before we go, you can see, you know, film history very much canonized here, and actors have their own permanent records here, so we've actually pulled your files.
Oh.
Okay.
All right.
Oh, wow.
This is like what my mom does. Just like article clippings.
Wow, this is just a bunch of rave reviews for a horse girl, I guess. An outstanding Alison Brie anchors this deceptive, unsettling, insightful depiction of worsening mental instability.
I agree with every word. Do you have any material from my first starring film, Bad Meat?
I bet they do. I know that this is stress testing production, but if there is a file, can we pull it?
They did it.
The library
has
thorough.
Bad Meat.
This library is legit.
I was a month away from graduating from USC, and I got my first starring role. I dislocated my shoulder. I lost my voice multiple times from screaming so much. I had bruises over my whole body. But
Sounds like Together.
Sounds like every movie I'm doing these days. The tagline, "It's the meat, it's bad," tells you everything you need to know about the quality of this film. Probably for the best that we didn't finish this thing, but then I found out years later that they hired an entirely new cast to fill in these blanks that we didn't shoot. This was definitely not from the chunk that we filmed.
That's not you?
That is definitely not me. It looks like a mummy movie. It is not.
It does look like a mummy movie.
It's a bunch of camp counselors who eat tainted meat and they turn into monsters.
It sounds like an episode of Community that was actually very good.
Thank you guys so much.